Well, our men and women in uniform all sacrifice their time to fight for our freedom, and sometimes, so tragically, they even give the ultimate sacrifice on the battlefield. Many that make it back, however, bring home with them that invisible wounds in the form of PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder. All right, sometimes this leads to suicide. I think some of the latest numbers were 22 each day for military. That's ridiculous. I hate to hear that. Today, Dr. Elliot Hirschhorn, who you have seen on our show before, wants to talk about a personal experience about his brother, Sergeant Zachary Hirschhorn. He served in Iraq.
Yes, he was in the military for about 10 years, a year in Iraq, and had a head injury while I was over there, exposed to a blast injury, and so he had the traumatic brain injury, and then on top of that, after the experiences that he dealt with while he was there, was diagnosed with PTSD when he returned.
Could the brain injury have caused the PTSD to be more profound?
Yes, yeah, it certainly makes it worse. The symptoms associated with that, when you combine the TBI with the PTSD, it makes it worse.
So tell us about when your brother, Sergeant Zach, when he got back from Iraq. What was that like? Yeah,
so when he came back, it was, he was happy to be home. He reunited with his kids. It was an exciting time to have him back from the battlefield, and we were excited about, where his future was going to go.
You thought the worst was over? You thought,
yeah, obviously
we're
worried while he's over there, concerned about injury or death, while he's there, and not really thinking about, how does he make the transition coming back. That's not a thought that the family typically has.
Right.
You think that the military is kind of doing that for them, but it's really not at this point.
So he was home, and then we lost him almost 3 years ago.
Yeah, so August 29th this summer will be 3 years. I was actually with him the day that it happened. They actually live in New Jersey. We had just happened to be there for the weekend. Spent the whole day with them, which was a blessing to us afterwards.
Yeah.
To be able to share that last day with him. We had gone to celebrate my father-in-law's birthday and got a phone call that he had hung himself.
And was he sad? Was he? Could you?
No, that whole day was just a wonderful day. We had a great time playing outside with the kids. We watched that movie Frozen. We're singing the songs. It was a wonderful time.
So you had no idea.
No clue
what was going on.
Yeah, exactly.
How long before he took his life after he got back? Was he able to work at all?
So that's one of the things that is a sign of there's something going on, is a difficulty keeping a job. And so he did have employment here and there, and he used his skills from the military working on helicopters, but he had difficulty maintaining a job for a consistent period of time. And so that's, again, like I said, one of the common symptoms that a lot of the men and women deal with associated with PTSD.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times they come back and they don't want to talk about it. As a family member, you don't want to push because you don't want to bring up any bad feelings. But you're saying now you wish maybe you would have pushed a little bit more? Yeah,
I mean, obviously, in hindsight, it's 2020. I would have, nobody in the family knew really how bad it was. And he didn't share. And, thinking about and knowing what I know now, I would have pushed a little bit further to find out what was going on.
So you've created a foundation in his name and his honor.
Yeah, so in the hospital that night, just trying to think about what can we do positive, and obviously we donated some of his organs and tissues to other people. But even beyond that, how can we help prevent other families from having to go through this? And so I started a foundation called Sergeant Zach's Freedom Foundation, and we're just trying to repay the veterans their freedom for the freedoms that they fought for us.
Well, how can we get involved?
Yeah, so if you go to the website sgtzac.org, you can donate. So we're trying to raise about $10,000 here to get started. It is completely tax deductible. 100% of every dollar goes to actually provide care for veterans, to get their brains to work better so that they don't experience these symptoms as much anymore. And that's my brother you see there on the screen now during his duty in Iraq. And if everybody in your audience donated at least $10, we could help over 100 veterans and their families to change their lives.
And that's such a little amount, and everyone doing it makes it great. So share this. We'll put this on our Facebook page. Share this with your friends. All right, don't forget this name, Sergeant Zach's Freedom Foundation. Thank you for sharing this story, and that's very hard. So thank you for your family.
Thanks, Doc.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, let's take a real quick break, and we'll come right back.